Jake was a kind-hearted young man who worked as a chef in a popular city restaurant called the Urban Mars Squad. He loved cooking and dreamt of opening his own restaurant one day. One sunny afternoon, after a busy lunch shift, Jake decided to take a stroll in the city park to relax. Grace, a smart and caring architect, was sitting on a bench in the park, sketching some ideas for a new building project. She loved the peace and quiet of the park, away from the hustle and bustle of her busy life. As Jake walked by, he tripped over a loose stone on the path and accidentally bumped into Grace. Her sketchpad flew out of her hands, and Jake quickly apologized, picking up the pad and handing it back to her. "I'm so sorry. I didn't see that stone," Jake said, feeling embarrassed. Grace smiled warmly. "It's okay. Accidents happen. I'm Grace. By the way." Jake smiled back. "Nice to meet you, Grace. I'm Jake." They chatted for a while, discovering they had a lot in common. Both loved the city and enjoyed finding hidden spots where they could relax. They exchanged numbers before parting ways, feeling an instant connection. A few days later, Grace decided to visit the Urban Mars Squad for lunch. Curious to see Jake in his element, she was pleasantly surprised when she saw him walking in the kitchen, looking focused and happy. Jake noticed Grace and came over to her table. "Hey, Grace. It's great to see you here. What can I get you?" Grace smiled. "Surprise me, chef." Jake grinned and went back to the kitchen. A while later, he returned with a beautifully plated dish. "I hope you like it." Grace took a bite, and her eyes lit up. "This is amazing, Jake. You're really talented." They talked more as Grace enjoyed her meal. Soon, they started meeting regularly, exploring the city together, sharing their dreams and aspirations. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing day. Jake's best friend, Leo, was a charismatic photographer who loved adventure. He had been traveling for a while, capturing stunning images from around the world. One day, Leo returned to the city and decided to visit Jake at the restaurant. When Leo arrived, he was introduced to Grace. Leo felt an instant attraction to her. They talked and laughed, and Jake, unaware of Leo's feelings, encouraged Leo to pursue Grace. "You two seem to get along well," Jake said with a smile. "Maybe you should hang out more." Leo nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and guilt. He didn't want to hurt Jake, but he couldn't deny his feelings for Grace. Grace's childhood friend, Oni, was a talented dancer who had recently moved to the city. When Oni visited Grace, she quickly noticed the dynamic between Grace, Jake, and Leo. Sensing a potential love triangle, Oni advised Grace to be cautious. "Grace, I think both Jake and Leo like you." "Oni," I said, "you need to be careful and figure out your own feelings." Grace felt confused and overwhelmed. She enjoyed spending time with both Jake and Leo, but she wasn't sure who she had stronger feelings for. One evening, Jake decided to confess his feelings to Grace. They were sitting on a bench in the park where they first met, and the setting sun cast a warm glow around them. "Grace, I have something to tell you," Jake began nervously. "I really like you. I've liked you since the day we met in this park." Grace's heart raced. She cared for Jake deeply, but she was also growing closer to Leo. "Jake, I care about you too, but I need some time to think about my feelings." Jake nodded. though he felt a pang of disappointment. "I understand. Take all the time you need." As Grace grappled with her emotions, the tension between Jake and Leo grew. Leo could sense that something was off, but he wasn't sure what. One day, while looking through some old photos, Leo discovered a picture of Jake with a group of people he didn't recognize. Curious, Leo asked Jake about it. Jake hesitated before explaining. "That's from a few years ago. I had a rough time and got mixed up with some bad people. I've worked hard to turn my life around since then." Leo felt torn. He could use this information to discredit Jake and win Grace's heart. But he didn't want to betray his friend. Unsure of what to do, Leo decided to keep the secret for now. Oni sensed that something was troubling Jake, so she decided to talk to him. Over coffee, Jake opened up about his past and his feelings for Grace. "Jake, you should be honest with Grace," Oni advised. "If she really cares about you, she'll understand." Encouraged by Oni's words, Jake decided to come clean. He met Grace at the park and told her everything about his troubled past and how he had changed his life. Grace was shocked, but she appreciated Jake's honesty. "Thank you for telling me, Jake. I need some time to process this, but I'm glad you trusted me." As Grace thought about Jake's confession, she realized that her feelings for him were stronger than for Leo. She wanted to be with Jake, but she didn't know how to tell Leo without hurting him. Leo, meanwhile, was struggling with his own feelings. He knew that Grace was leaning towards Jake, and it hurt him deeply. One evening, Leo received an unexpected offer for a prestigious photography job abroad. It was a dream opportunity, but it also meant leaving Grace and Jake behind. Leo decided to take the job, hoping that a clean break would help him move on. He told Jake and Grace about his decision, trying to hide his sadness. "I'm happy for you, Leo," Jake said, though he felt a sense of loss. "We'll miss you, but this is a great opportunity." Grace was heartbroken. She wanted to tell Leo the truth about her feelings before he left, but she didn't know how to find the right words. On the day of Leo's departure, Grace rushed to the airport, hoping to catch him before he left. When she arrived, she found out that Leo's flight had already taken off. She felt a mix of relief and sadness, knowing that she had missed her chance to talk to him. With Leo gone, Jake and Grace grew closer. They supported each other through the pain of losing a friend, and found solace in each other's company. Their relationship blossomed, and they felt more connected than ever. One day, Jake received a message from Leo on his phone. In it, Leo apologized for his actions and gave his blessing for Jake and Grace to be together. He wrote that he had realized his true passion was closer to home, and that he had decided to return. Leo's return was a surprise to everyone. He and Jake mended their friendship, and Leo found a new love interest in Oni. The four friends spent more time together, enjoying the city's vibrant life. Jake and Grace's relationship continued to grow, and they eventually opened a small restaurant together. Leo and Oni pursued their passions and supported each other along the way. The four friends found happiness in the city they called home, cherishing the love and friendship they had discovered. The end. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. We are dedicated to bringing you more love tales like this. Thank you for stopping by.